Hi guys, Vino here and welcome to this OTGV on the go video or a video from my phone, which, spoiler alert, all my videos are now going to be on my phone going forward. I'll talk about that in a moment. It's currently 3:15 a.m. or 3:15 on Saturday the 23rd of August 2025. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you're doing really well. So this OTGV is hot off the heels of the previous one. I shot the last part yesterday. Excuse me, and now I'm recording. I've got the hiccups for some reason. Just as I go to start a video, the hiccups come. Anyway, as I was saying, hot off the heels of the previous one. And I've made a decision to sell my Steam Deck, sell my GX6 to CX, because there's a couple more box sets that I would like. Plus, I need a bit of extra money to get through September. So I'm going to go down to CX tomorrow, sell them. I'm going to get just under £800 for both. That's not including the accessories I'm going to take down as well. Plus, I'm going to return a charger and 2 batteries to Amazon that I don't need anymore. I'm just going to say that it didn't work or wasn't compatible with the item or something, and I'll probably return it because that's like 40 quid. That'll get me 40 quid back, and we will go from there, essentially. So I'm in talks with somebody to get a vast majority of the Doctor Who The Collection Blu-ray box sets. So I was collecting Doctor Who box sets last year at one point, but I sold them all for a couple of reasons. One, because some of the box sets were going to get stupidly expensive. We're talking over £200, and I was like, I'm never going to be able to afford one of those box sets, so I'm just going to sell all these, and I don't have to worry about getting the expensive box sets. And the other reason for that is BBC had decided to put all of Classic Who onto BBC iPlayer. Well, some of you may know that unfortunately, when it comes to BBC iPlayer, some of the stuff is being removed from BBC iPlayer. So some of it is being... So The Unearthly Child has been removed off of BBC iPlayer because of the son of one of the writers involved with that. He is a complete, to be honest. There are many other words I could use for that individual. But when it comes to him, he's decided to get rid of that. And there are talks that some other things may end up going the same way, depending on how people feel about it. However, the media rights, the physical media rights to Doctor Who were secured years and years ago. This is the streaming rights. And of course, these are new streaming rights because Classic Who hasn't been on BBC iPlayer. It's been on Netflix and other places, but it hasn't been on BBC iPlayer. So that's why there's all this discussion around what can be shown and can't be shown and all that kind of stuff. So basically, physical media is the best way to get, which is kind of why the BBC are going hard on the collection sets. So I'm going to be buying a load of them off of somebody, and then I will collect the rest. Collection, get it? Collect the rest. So I'm talks with someone, and I'm going down to CX tomorrow to pick up a Star Trek set, which I'm looking very much forward to. Now, I'm going to go for now. I'll speak to you guys in a little bit. Hi guys, so it's currently just gone 11 o'clock or 11 a.m. on Saturday the 23rd of August. I've got everything packaged up. My Steam Deck is packaged up. It's charging at the moment. The camera, I'm also selling my DJI Mic Mini. Yeah, everything. I've got a JSOX dock for the Steam Deck that they'll give like £9 for. It's better than nothing, to be honest. And this spare charger and batteries I'm going to be sending back to Amazon. In fact, I might hop on their chat in a moment and see if I can get that returned back. Just say it's not fit for purpose or something. But yeah, I think I said this last night, but I'm going for Doctor Who The Collection, a load of those. There is actually one other person I want to message quickly on Facebook Messenger / Marketplace before I commit to the other person. But yeah, that's the plan. at the moment. I've actually been up for a couple of hours just pottering around because there are a couple of things like the body cap for the GX6 and a couple of things that I was struggling to find, but I managed to find everything now. So yeah, all is good, all is a go. I have quite a bit of stuff to sell, and at some point I'm probably just going to sell this lens at some point. Probably not going to get much for it, but you know, once I get the rear lens cap and the lens cap, blah, 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 I'll go ahead and sell that as well. Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with one of my bank accounts right now. Really weird stuff, but I'll sort it once I've got all of this money, and we will go from there. I can't speak right now. I think my Steam Deck is charged enough now. I'm going to book a taxi and go to a different CX, the one I normally go to, for several reasons. Get these all in for testing and go from there. Speak to you guys later. Hi guys. So it's currently 3:32, all coming up for 25 to 4 a.m. on Sunday the 24th of August 2025. So this is a bonus 3 a.m. Rambles with Vino. I forgot to mention in the last 3 a.m. Rambles with Vino that, by the way, 3 a.m. Rambles with Vino is kind of a concept more than necessarily taking place at that time. So way back in the day, I did used to record videos like 3 in the morning back when I used to work nights and used to be up quite late and all that kind of stuff. And a colleague came over to me and was like, why do you record at, 3 a.m? And I said, I don't know, to be honest. And I don't know if he mentioned or someone mentioned, might have been Luke mentioned, rambles, basically. But that's how 3 a.m. Rambles with Vino kind of became a thing. And as I said, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bang on 3 o'clock. It's a bit of a meme in a sense. And of course, those of you know that obviously 3 a.m. does have a certain significance. It's known as the witching hour. It's apparently when the veil between the living and the dead is the thinnest. There are all sorts of things that go on at 3 a.m. In the morning. So that's kind of the whole part of that. Right, so I went down to CX today. They had to transfer the money, but I actually switched my bank account details with them because I recently got a new bank account with a different bank, so to speak, or not so to speak, a different bank. And when they released the funds, they went straight into my bank account, which is glorious. The funny thing is, I do see a lot of people online saying that when CX do their payout and do the faster payment thing, it goes into their bank account almost immediately. But my old bank account, or other bank account rather, it doesn't go in instantly. And I was like, why is it not going in instantly? And then I changed my bank details over and it went in instantly. So I'm actually not going to say how much I got in total for everything, but it was a lot of money. It was actually quite a bit of money. I have spent a lot of it. I'm not going to lie. So I went ahead. I had a couple of bills to take care of, which, to be honest, was the reason why I took everything down in the first place, because I knew I was going to have a couple of bills coming up at the end of this month, and I need to get through September before my pay rise. I knew, some of the stuff was going to happen, essentially. So, where was I? Trying to think. I lost my train of thought a little bit there. Yes, the money came in. I dealt with those bills, and then I've transferred a significant chunk of what I got, about half-ish of it, to somebody, because I am buying a load of Doctor Who The Collection box sets from that person. Hopefully they will arrive maybe Tuesday next week. Hopefully, we shall see. I'm going to take a swig of milk in the Mickey Mouse mug. yeah, so they're going to deliver those next week, and there's like 11 of those box sets. I've also gone ahead and clicked but not collected, ordered a load of click and collect items from my local CX. I'm probably going to go down and get either tomorrow or Monday, because Monday's bank holiday, so I'm off. On Monday, I'm trying to remember what I've actually clicked but not collected just yet. Season 2 of the collection, Doctor Who the collection. I also... Did I need to get season 2? If I didn't, I'll just cancel the order. That's easy. I now got season 10. Season 2 of the collection. Season 10 with Peter Capaldi. I got the Celestial Toymaker Steelbook Blu-ray from the other CEX. I may have to go away and in a different segment tell you everything that I pre-ordered. Oh, and the beginning, Doctor Who, the beginning, because I've said this time and time again. I said this in an earlier segment or video, but Unearthly Child isn't on BBC iPlayer because of a certain individual. So if you want an Unearthly Child, basically you have to get that set. And I don't think if I can... I'm trying to think, actually. I have a strong feeling that's not going to be on Blu-ray, I've just realised. Because... that's going to be annoying, I've just realised. Because what... So the reason why the BBC are doing the collection series of box sets is because they got called out a few years ago that they weren't doing much with the back catalogue of Doctor Who, with Classic Who, basically. And a lot of the DVDs that they released, if you want to get all of them, it would have cost an arm and a leg, basically. And they weren't all released. And basically, some people called out the BBC on like, what are you playing at? And the BBC was saying for years, watch this space, watch this space, watch this space. There is something that's going to be happening when it comes to, Classic Who. And then, lo and behold, they dropped the bombshell that the collection is coming out. And it is meant to be for Classic Who. However, there is some modern Who that's in the collection. Mainly in different territories. I think in Southern Ireland or something like that. Because they remastered seasons 1 to 3 with obviously Christopher Eccleston and then David Tennant. They remastered those, and that was under the collection banner in different territories, not in England, but in parts of, so Southern Ireland, I think, may have gotten it, or maybe Scotland or something. It's really weird, but parts of the world, such as other countries, seem to get it under the collection banner sort of thing. But anyway, and I believe that the BBC have had to renegotiate the Blu-ray rights for all of those. And if that individual is not willing to... Basically, they want £10,000, I think it is, for 10 grand or 20,000 or whatever it is, for the rights to be able to put an Unearthly Child either onto streaming or onto a box set, potentially. And they've had to renegotiate the Blu-ray rights. I'm trying to think of the right word then. Rights, because the DVD rights were done, way back when. But yeah, I've just realised that it's a possibility. That's a real shame, because the whole point of the collection was that if you wanted Classic Who on home video, so to speak, the collection was the way to go. And they're also re-releasing all of them on standard packaging, not in the collector's packaging, because there are some of those collector's packaging ones that go for an astronomical amount of money. We're talking £200-300 just for one of the sets. So So if they can't put another Earthly Child on one of those sets, that's going to be sad in some ways. Anyway, I've rambled a little bit. It is a 3-hour rambles with Vino. Anyway, I'm going to go. I'll speak to you guys probably late. I could say probably tomorrow. It is tomorrow. Later on at this point, once I've had some sleep or something. And yeah, we'll go from there. Morning. How there, guys? So I've just gotten out of the bath. It was a very, very refreshing bath. Actually, we're going to go in the front room today. Yes, it was a very refreshing bath and very much needed. I just realised I need to get the front and rear facing caps for these. I wonder if I can order them on Amazon and they'll be here tomorrow, and I could take this down to CX for either a voucher or money, and then go from there. So I am about to head out and grab something to eat. I don't know if I'm going to grab something to eat and come back, or grab something to eat on the way down to my city centre and then on to a different location, because I'm going to be picking up a load of click and collects that I have. I spoke about that last night, Doctor Who click and collects. I'm actually really looking forward to picking up some of these, because one of them is season 2, of Doctor Who, and I'm actually quite interested, in watching that. Plus, I do want to pick up the Celestial Toy Maker one that they did, which is is it called a remake? Basically, they had to redo it because the original footage is lost. And I'm really interested in that one because I couldn't find it on iPlayer last night. I'm sure it's on iPlayer somewhere, because when they colorized Daleks, was it called Daleks or Dalek? Whatever. When they colorized the second ever serial for the 60th anniversary, was it last year? It was last year or the year before, whenever it was. It was on iPlayer. Plus, they've also colorized another. I think it's Patrick Troughton's Regeneration Story. I think they colorized that again for an anniversary of some description. But I couldn't find the Celestial Toy Maker. I'll have to have a bit more of a look. But yeah, there's a few sets there that I'm looking forward to picking up. I do want to pick up from CX, or order from CX. They do have that 1 to 7 box set that I actually had a while ago. I want to pick that up and maybe I want to see if they got any Torchwood, and maybe pick up some Torchwood. But that's the plan for today. I'm starving right now, to be honest. So I do need to get something to eat and drink and sort of recuperate as far as that's concerned. My phone does need a little bit of a charge, but I'll also see if I can find the stuff for this. If not, I'll order it and we'll go from there. And that charger and batteries just over there being picked up on Tuesday by Royal Mail, being sent back to Amazon. So yeah, all is going very well at the moment. I am also thinking of maybe picking up a couple of 4K titles or sets from, again, that local CX. I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but I did end up picking up that Star Trek movies 1 to 10 collector's Blu-ray set, which is actually a really nice set. Now I've got it in hand, and I'm really pleased to have it. I'm looking forward to making my way through that, making my way downtown. So yeah, that's the plan as it stands at the moment. When it rains, it fucking pours. So I've just gotten back from going to the shop, got some bits and bobs, and my 2 main cards were rejected, refused, whatever, not authorised. So I actually used one of my credit cards for now, and I'll just, pay off the balance immediately, because I had a bit of credit on there, because one of the bills that I paid yesterday I spoke about was a credit card. So I'll just bung over the what I spent on there back onto the credit card. So I managed to get my stuff.
But yeah, just got a text from one of my banks saying that my card's been blocked due to fraudulent activity because of weird spending patterns. I understand why, because my spending patterns over the last less than 24 hours have been really weird. And I did send somebody money, which I probably should have used PayPal goods and services, but it is what it is at the end of the day. So I understand what they're doing. It's just a little frustrating, especially with all the shit that I've had to deal with over the last week or so with actual fraudulent transactions that I claimed against. God, as I said, I've got the money back now, but there's been so much stuff going on with my bank account and various things at the moment that it's just one more thing. And I'm just like, when does it end? Again, I'd rather they do this than the opposite, to be honest. I'd rather they block your card and stop anything happening rather than the alternative. And one thing I will say, I now bank with TSB, and they are miles better than my previous bank. I'm not going to say who my previous bank. I say previous bank, I still use them. My other bank account or my other bank. I'm not going to say who they are on video yesterday, because they had yesterday. Why did I say yesterday? On video right now, because they actually have been rather good to me, to be honest. There is a subset, there's an actual group on Facebook called blah 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 is rubbish, and that's the name of the bank's name. But they've been quite good to me, to be honest. It's just they are very much in the past when it comes to a lot of their services and customer service and stuff like that. For instance, their cards don't work on Apple Pay or Google Pay or any of those services. You can't use contactless through your phone. What's the other thing? There's another really... Oh, yeah, they close over the weekends, whereas TSB, I'm in a web chat right now in a queue that's up to 3 hours long, but they will get back in touch with me. For now, I'll transfer money over to my other account so I can get something while I'm out and about. Some, drink or something. But TSB are miles better. And yesterday, when I did the bank transfer for CX, it came through immediately after CX had approved it, whereas my other bank, it would come through like 3 days later. It would appear on my bank account 3 days later. So, TSB are actually, at the moment, they are the goats when it comes to things at the moment. I don't think, actually, I'd have this positive of a mentality coming out of it than I would have had this been my other bank account or my other bank, to be honest. So TSB, you got a massive thumbs up from me when it comes to your customer service and all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm going to go for a bit. I'm going to let my watch and phone, although it's not charging right now, charge up, and then I'm going to head down and pick up some of the stuff that I've got waiting for me. Hi there guys, so it's currently 5 to 4 p.m. on Sunday the 24th of August 2025. I've just come back from being out, so I did end up picking up just one item in the end, and ended up purchasing, in terms of CX, purchasing one item, but all I ended up picking up was the Doctor Who The Collection Blu-ray Season 2, and let me just grab it out from the CX bag, because it's still in there. No, it isn't. Where is it? There it is. Here it is. So, end up just picking this up because they had to cancel the beginning. So I'm going to have to order that online or something. And I didn't want the other item. So I was going to get season 10. I think it was. But it's a reprinted cover. I hate the reprinted covers. So, no. Not gonna go down that road. I'm probably just going to cancel the click and collect in the other store. I couldn't be asked to go down there today. I tried to hail a bus down at the bus stop, and the bus was packed to get there. So I was like, no, stuff, I'm just going to come back home. Did get some stuff to clear my ears out, so I'll do that later. But yeah, season 2 of Doctor Who The Collection. I also picked up this. This is the Guinness Draft Nitro Surge unit. Now, if I open up, it's actually quite a nice box, and it should be for how much this cost. But this is the little unit, basically. And what this is designed to do
is give you the perfect Guinness pour. So those of you who may not drink Guinness or may not realise, but when it comes to Guinness, one of the best ways to experience Guinness is straight off of a draft tap. Basically, especially if you get a bar person that can pour a pint of Guinness really well, then it's beautiful. In fact, I've heard that if you go to Dublin and get one in pubs from there, you get the perfect Guinness. So they did release around the same time as this, probably before this is what I'm guessing, what's known as the micro draft unit. The micro draft unit was £750, and I'm guessing didn't do very well. What I'm also guessing is from what they learnt by producing that particular device, they then came out with this. This was £30. Now, yes, that's actually quite pricey just for an item that's going to make Guinness taste a bit better. And there are specific cans you have to use. They're in the fridge right now to cool down for later. Specific microsurge cans, which are more expensive than standard cans of Guinness. They are a lot taller than standard cans of Guinness. So a pint is like, 600 and whatever it is, millilitres. Those are 558 millilitres, and the idea behind it is to allow room for the head that you're going to get, because obviously when it comes to Guinness, the head is what it's all about. I've actually been drinking Blackheart, Brewdog Blackheart, for the last few years in terms of my personal stout choice, because I really like Blackheart. I can down Blackheart really easily, and I kind of went off Guinness a little bit, and I've wanted to test out this Nitro Surge for quite some time, to be honest. But £30 for this little unit, although it does come in a very nice box, and does have all the bits and bobs you need. You've got a cleaning brush. It's got a little nozzle, which is the famous nozzle, so to speak, that you get on all of the taps. So this is an attempt to be able to pour a pub style or pub quality Guinness in your own home, basically. That's not £750, it's £30 plus the cans. So for this and the cans, it was just shy of 40 quid or £40, which is again quite expensive. The initial, I'm really hoping that they continue with the Nitro Surge cans, and I really hope it's popular enough among Guinness drinkers that it carries on, because obviously if they stop doing the cans, this unit becomes pretty useless at that point. But one thing I will say when it comes to Guinness drinkers, and I obviously am a Guinness drinker, is they're quite anal in the way that you have a Guinness. And, given the current climate, people don't go to pubs as often. So thinking of a way that you can get a pub poured Guinness in your own home is actually quite clever on Guinness's part, so to speak. So I'm really interested in trying this out later on once the cans are cooled down, and seeing how it performs, and if it does actually give a better pour than the standard draft cans. Obviously in the draft cans, I say obviously, but in the draft cans, they've got a widget in there that's supposed to help with the nitro bubbles. But I've personally, to be honest, found that it doesn't really work. The way you pour a Blackheart is you literally get a glass, you crack the can, and you turn it upside down. And they're saying that they're specifically engineered way that they brew Blackheart gives it, the required head that it does. Maybe this is Guinness playing catch up. I don't know. The irony of it is, in a really weird way, is Brewdog are Scottish, and of course Guinness is Irish. Stout is Irish, if you didn't know. So yeah, kind of interesting, to be honest. I'm not sponsored by Guinness, obviously. I just really enjoy Guinness. I've gone off Guinness as a stout option the last few years, but you know what? Give it a go. There's actually a brewery round the corner from me-ish called Staggeringly Good. They do a wonderful, wonderful coffee stout, but it's like £9 a pint. It's beautiful. It's actually quite high APV. I think it's 13%. My brain wants to say it's like 13%, or something, but it's beautiful. It really is nice. But £9 a pint is definitely expensive, considering I just bought 4 cans of Nitro Surge Guinness that are almost a pint. Well, there will be a pint once you get the head, for £8.75 for 4 cans. But I know that that's a specialist brewery, and you shouldn't compare specialist breweries to, you know, supermarket brands and stuff like that. I completely understand that they are two very different things. I'm half considering popping round there, actually. I might pop round there tomorrow if they're open. I might pick up a can of... The cans are a lot cheaper than obviously having it inside, but I might pick up a couple cans. We'll see. Anyway, I'm going to settle down for a bit. I've got some cocktail sausages that I bought on clearance at the Co-op. Going to eat those for now, and I've got some gammon for later. So I think that's the plan as it stands. And then later on, obviously, I've been enjoying some nice Guinness. Hi there, guys. So it's currently coming up for 10 to 4 a.m. on Monday. I'm just going to get the date. I should have gotten it before I started. Monday, the 25th of August, which is late August bank holiday. The last bank holiday until Christmas, and I'm off today. It's very nice having a job where you can have bank holidays off. So I thought I'd pop on here and just let you guys know some shit has happened. My bank account, one of my bank accounts, is still not completely sorted yet. Some other things happened. Yeah, it is what it is, but hey ho. But one thing that did happen today that was really good is there's a game that I'm looking at getting on Facebook Marketplace called The Dark Quarter. And it's actually by Lucky Duck Games and Van Ryder. So Van Ryder did Final Girl, which I've got almost all of Final Girl in the hallway right now. Bar Into the Void, which we'll get probably very soon, to be honest. But Lucky Duck also did Destinies. Now, Dark Quarter is an app-based game, basically. And somebody's selling Dark Quarter on one of the board game groups. And they've actually switched the game to pending for me, because they're away till Friday, for me to think about the game, have a look. And what I'm going to do over the next few days, I'm probably going to play some Destinies. I'll record some of my Destinies gameplay. Because actually I took Destinies down to CX a few weeks ago to try and trade it in. I managed to trade in a couple of other games. I traded in Zombicide and Descent, because I don't really play those, to be honest. But Destinies I didn't trade in, didn't take it. And I actually believe that some things happen for a reason. And I really do believe that I didn't sell Destinies. Again, that's in the hallway right now. I strongly believe I didn't sell Destinies for a reason. So I'm going to crack open Destinies probably tomorrow, have a bit of a play, have the app open, that sort of stuff, see what I think. And if I like Destinies, I'll probably end up liking Dark Quarter. Also, Dark Quarter is an 18 plus game, which there aren't many 18 plus board games out there. So that's kind of very interesting that is, you know, it's 18 plus. It's because there's a lot of swearing on the app and the story and what have you. But I'm still intrigued by an 18 plus board game. Anyway, I'll check back with you guys in a little while. Hi guys, it's currently 4:34 or coming up for 25 to 5 a.m. on Wednesday. I forgot the date then for a day. Wednesday, 27th of August 2025. So, my box set arrived. Doctor Who Season 7. And I have to
that card doesn't look it fits very well. Anyway, the first disc is actually in my Blu-ray player right now. I was watching it. I'm going to say this now. I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb, in a sense. I'm half joking, half being a bit sarcastic, and say I really enjoy Classic Who, and the fact that each story gets multiple episodes, or each serial, if you prefer. So I think this is like 6 episodes long, because I think it continues on to the second disc as well. Obviously, the first episode, Spearhead from Space, I do believe it's called, is a post-regeneration story. So it's the first John Pertwee story, and I'm actually really enjoying it. And I've been watching some Classic Who, obviously, recently, because of these sets. And I really like the extended nature of Classic Who, especially considering the recent Ncuti Gatwa era, or RTD2 era, or Disney era, whatever you want to call it. There are many words and shorthands for it at the moment. Were 45 minutes an episode, and only 8 episodes. Yeah, I'm beginning to side with a lot of people that are like, bring back the longer episodes, bring back, more episodes. I'm beginning to go on the side of those people, but really enjoying checking out this set. I probably will pick up season 8 very soon, because that's also available on Amazon as well. And I've literally got all of the other sets from the Facebook seller arriving tomorrow. The tracking says it's on its way to my local dispatch centre, or delivery centre, whatever you call it, and they'll be arriving before 1 p.m. Well, I say tomorrow, later on, technically. So that's really exciting to have all of those. Obviously, I've got this. I've also, don't know if I showed this off the other day, but I also have season 2 on the standard edition. Been watching some of that as well. I also watched on BBC iPlayer, I watched War Games in colour, because War Games, which is the regeneration story for Patrick Troughton, has now been colorised as part of the, I think it is part of the 60th anniversary celebrations that happened a couple of years ago, whenever it was, or maybe they've colorised it since. I don't know what it may be, but watched that, thoroughly enjoyed it, and obviously I now have season 7, so straight into the first John Pertwee serial. And yeah, I'm really enjoying. I'm really happy I went ahead and bought all of those Doctor Who sets. The other thing that's put me in a really good mood is I'm doing my workings out, because I obviously get paid on Friday. So I'm doing my workings out to make sure where I am financially for the upcoming month. And I'm actually in a really good place, much better than I thought I would be. So some of you probably worked this out, and plus I've said it, but I got a few lines of credit a couple months ago. Basically, my first bill for a couple of the cards that I got was really high. Now, my housemate also got a credit card as well, and their first payment was really low. Plus, I've got 3 or 4 lines of credit, one of which is PayPal credit. I think I've already mentioned I've got PayPal credit. PayPal credit, which is a very similar limit and very similar APR to the other lines of credit that I've got, was only like £18, something stupid like that for it, where the other ones were like double that, if not triple that. But I had a look on the various apps today, and I think what's happened is they charged me, because when I got the credit, when I got the cards and all that kind of stuff, there was like a crossover. And what I think they've done is they've charged me for 2 months in one, basically, because for 3 of the lines of credit, I don't have to pay for September, according to what I can see at the moment. It might change. I am going to keep some money back just in case, but that's actually pretty good, and obviously helps me out financially for September. I have kept some money back from all the stuff that I sold. I've got a few refunds coming through. Amazon accepted my refund for the charger and batteries for the GX6, so that's another £45 coming back to me. I also have a £20 refund coming back to me, and another £30 refund coming back to me, because when I went to CX on Saturday,
It was Saturday. I'm trying to think if it was Saturday, Sunday. It was Saturday. I ended up refusing Doctor Who Season 10 because it's a reprinted cover. I hate the reprinted covers with a passion. So decided to cancel that. And decided to cancel the other Click and Collect. That was the other shop. So that's another 15 plus 12, another £27 coming back to me. So, you know, and I've still got money in the bank. So, all is good. All is good right now. I am strongly consider ordering Hellraiser the Quartet of Torment because CX only have one in stock online. And of course, once it's out of stock, it's out of stock, so to speak. And obviously, I say obviously, but they've recently revealed the Hellraiser Revival game, which is actually shaping up to really good. And I think it was Gamescom last week. And as a result of that, there was some gameplay of Hellraiser Revival at Gamescom, which is actually pretty good. And I'm going to be honest, seeing all of this content, all of this, pre-release content stuff is making me want to play Pinhead in Dead by Daylight. So I might be downloading DVD onto my PlayStation and going from there. I actually just realised, does it have a PS5 Pro Enhanced mode? Because that would be pretty cool to check out. Although I have just realised that I could subscribe to Arrow Video through Amazon. Get the free trial and then watch Hellraiser in 4K through there before the set arrives. We shall see, but I thought I'd record this little segment to tell you how I'm getting. I did clock out of work early. Yes, I was in a really, really bad mood. Yes, I'm going to be completely honest, really bad mood yesterday. So I clocked out of work early and just used the rest of the day to sort of calm. I actually fell asleep very quickly. I got some food, went up to bed, and I was out for the count very quickly. So maybe I was just tired. Hopefully I will. I do feel quite a bit better now, so I think I was just tired. I am going to catch a bit more sleep, having a bit of a nap before I start work at 10 o'clock. I am working from home again tomorrow because I am receiving, obviously, this package from this seller on Facebook. So I'll be working from home and then working from the office on Thursday and Friday. So, yeah, I'll catch back with you guys later. Hi guys, so it's currently 12:06 a.m. on, and I always forget to check the date before I turn on the camera, on the Wednesday 27th of August 2025. I'm currently waiting for the package to be delivered on a quick break from work right now. Normally I take my lunch right now, in fact I'm starving, so I would like to take my lunch, but the package is due to be delivered by 1 o'clock and I need to leave the house to go and get something to eat. So I'll probably wait for it to be delivered and then take my lunch, go and get something to eat. But I'm really looking forward to it. I've just gone ahead and purchased a game that's on sale on Steam called Ready or Not, which is kind of seen as a spiritual successor to the SWAT games. I used to love the SWAT games back in the day. The reviews are currently mixed on Steam at the moment, but I feel some of the reasons why people are giving negative reviews is because the developer has not implemented the features they promised. It's not necessarily the game itself, it's just the developer hasn't put in some of the stuff that they promised. And to be honest, I'm one of these people that doesn't necessarily expect that to happen, if that makes sense. And if it's anything like the old SWAT games, I'm going to enjoy it quite a bit. I went for the all-in package, so to speak, the bundle with the DLC and everything. So I'm really, almost dropped my phone then. I'm really looking forward to it coming out. Some people are saying it's still technically in early access, which I do have a little issue against companies, or developers rather, that release DLC when the base game hasn't been completed yet. But it is what it is. I've wanted it for quite some time. It's currently 20 quid off whether you buy the well, it's 20 quid off for me because I went for the all-in bundle, so to speak, and that was £40, normally 60 odd quid. So I'm actually quite happy with that, and that's because a couple of the refunds that I was expecting from CX came through. Still waiting for the £20 from O2
to come through, and still waiting for the £45 from Amazon to come through. And all that comes through, that will give me a nice little buffer for this month. And also I'm currently in talks with somebody to get some graphic novels at the end of September. So I've wanted Blackest Night for a long time, and I was going to go and get some, or what somebody was going to be dropping off to me a load of graphic novels, but they end up ghosting me and disappearing. But there's somebody who's a bit further away in Kent that's currently looking at an option of getting those graphic novels to me. Maybe a special courier service or something. Might cost a pretty penny, but if I can get all of them to me, that would be sick, to be honest. It may cost a little bit in P&P and packaging to get them here, but that would be sick if they can come all here. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this segment, get back to work, and hopefully this package arrives relatively soon, because I want to take my lunch. I'm starving. Hi there, guys. Currently 5 to 12. 5 to 1, sorry. And look what's just turned up. There we go. We have we've got these protectors that he's given me, so I can protect some of them. But we can also see, obviously, all of the different all the different ones. 17 there, 12 there, 26, 22, 15, 19, 24, 25, 20 and 18. Oh, this is wonderful. And I believe, yeah, so this one doesn't actually have the outer cover, but that's okay. It says what it is on the side, that's fine. We've got 12 there, we've got 9 just down there. Oh, this is wonderful. So the reason why, and I can now reveal, the reason why I was a little bit nervous about this is because, I'm actually going to switch the camera around. So yeah, the reason I was nervous about this is that actually the bank transfer I should have done, I know. I should have done goods and services, PayPal goods and services. I know I should have. But I got a bit excited, shall we say. So for those of you who don't know, I was actually collecting these a couple of years ago. And I came to the conclusion that some of the ones that I wanted that are in this particular packaging were going to be way too expensive to get. Basically, they're going to be over £200-300, whatever it's going to be. And you know, this is before I kind of knew that the BBC were going to release them in standard editions. So there was me thinking, oh, I'm never going to be able to get the whole collection, because obviously it's going to be too expensive for me to do it. But then the BBC have obviously revealed that they are going to excuse me, release them in standard edition. But I saw a couple of people on Facebook Marketplace that were, of course, selling these at a really reasonable amount of money. And this particular individual has done me a solid, an absolute solid. To be honest with you, I'm over the moon that these have actually turned up, and they're in really, really good nick. So I now have a nice smattering. In fact, I think if I think back to the ones that I had before, I think I've got them all back now. Obviously, I've got season 2 and season 7 that I bought myself recently, and obviously I've got all of these. I've also pre-ordered series or season 13, I think it is 13 or 15. What it is, I think 15 is actually in here. Is 15 in here? Yep, 15's in here. So 15, oh, that's beautiful. 15 is actually one of the most recent releases. So I actually saw the trailer for this just after I decided to sell all the other ones and get out of it. This was the one, I actually had this on pre-order. This is the one that everyone was like, oh, it's coming out, and I'm really glad this is in the set. There's actually quite a few Tom Baker ones in here. But I believe this one, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to read on the back. Oh, it has Mark of the Rani, so I can watch for Mark of the Rani.
But one of these Colin Baker sets has the Trial of a Time Lord on it, which is a 14-episode epic. And actually, I have a strong feeling the more and more we go on with Doctor Who, that the Valiard and the Trial of a Time Lord, the whole story arc, is going to be more important in the future when it comes to Doctor Who. If we're going to be completely honest with you, just drop that carefully down there. Got season 26, which is obviously Sylvester McCoy. I'm actually seeing if I do have the one that I'm thinking of. Well, I might not have it. Oh, I might have the grab of that one. A grab of that one. I'm pretty damn certain that they have actually released the Colin Baker one that has the Trial of a Time Lord. If not, I can buy the DVD of it, because there's a DVD set that's basically Trial of a Time Lord. Oh, they smell good as well. I know it sounds weird to say, but it's always a factor in these particular sets. And I believe it's season 20 that has the Five Doctors 20th anniversary special, so it's good to have that back in the collection. I've got some research to do so I can grab hold of the Colin Baker one that has Trial of a Time Lord. And anyway, I'm going to go now because, as I said, I'm starving. Now this has been delivered, I'm going to pop to the shop, grab something to eat and have some lunch. Catch you guys later. Hi guys, so it's currently 2017 or 17 minutes past 8 p.m. on Friday the 29th of August 2025. I may not look it right now, but I am really happy right now for 2 or 3 reasons. So the first main reason why I'm in a really good mood is I've actually signed up to the Cycle to Work scheme through my work. I've just realised I have a cut on my arm. Anyway, probably when I fell off my chair the other day. More about that in a moment. So I've I've signed up to the Cycle to Work scheme with my work, and I'm actually going to be picking up my bike on Thursday from my local Halfords. Halfords is a chain here in the UK that primarily do automotive or cycling products, so bikes, cycle gear, all that kind of stuff, and automotive stuff such as headlights, booster seats, child seats, that sort of stuff. So that's really exciting. Secondly, I don't think I mentioned this in in a segment of this video the other day, because I wasn't sure when I was going to be uploading this video, and I didn't want this item to be sniped, but I've actually ended up winning on eBay the Scream Factory Halloween box set. So I was actually actively bidding on it, and I managed to win it, and I've paid for it today, paying it via Klarna, but hey ho, it is what it is. But I'm really excited to have that back in the collection. And the third reason why I'm in a really good mood is I'm off. I'm off next week. Me, my dad and my sister are going out for a meal tomorrow because it's my dad's birthday next week. So we're going out for his birthday meal tomorrow. I've got a good friend coming around on Sunday for the day to hang out. So that's going to be pretty sweet. Yeah, things are just really good at the moment. And I'm in a really good mood as the result of that. What I'm thinking of doing, though, is saying sayonara to this particular OTGV and moving straight on to a new one, because I think this one has already gone on long enough, so to speak. It's probably about half an hour to an hour long, whatever it is. So there we go. So until next time, guys, you take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra.